We start off with a blank of genuine Kodiak tanned leather. Let me show you how thick it is. About 0.08. Now we have to keep it held down because the leather shrinks when it's laser cut, and we want it to cut as neatly as possible. Place a couple heavy magnets in there. There we go. Here's the file we're going to cut. I designed it myself. As you can see, you can have wording engraved on it. Now for this particular one I'm going to do the demonstration on, the next Marlinspike order that comes in, I'm going to include this one for free. Now we're going to let this run in real time so you can see what it takes. So the first thing we do is outline the letters so that it has a nice crisp edge, and then we're going to go back through and fill them in. And that interval is 0.001. It's less than the thickness of a sheet of paper. That's how much the laser moves as it goes up the lettering. Now you can see each hole gets 2 passes. The first pass, there's a bright flame that comes out. The second pass, it's a little more subdued. And that's because it's cutting through the rest of the leather on that second pass. Same thing as we cut the outline, you can see the flame is bright the first pass around. As soon as it gets to the starting point, it's not going to be as big. Now if you look closely, you can see the gas being sucked out by the blower. When you buy one of these kits, you'll get some paracord to sew it up and a razor blade to trim off any excess leather fray. And of course, you'll have your Marlinspike. This is also my design. All right, so let's get this separated out. Now this is what I was talking about, and it's why you have a razor blade. You can carefully go through and just trim it off. Another option is carefully dragging the razor blade across the edge. Be extremely careful that you don't cut yourself. There you go. Now I do want to warn you, this is laser cut, so the edges are burned. You can take a paper towel and just wipe the edge, and you can see that all the soot is coming off. You could also use soap and water to wash it off. It may fade your finish a little bit, but it comes back with use. Now we'll go through and poke out all the leather through the sewing holes. There you go, it comes right out. These two pieces are placed together, rough side in, so we have the finished leather on the outside. And we'll start sewing in this upper corner. We want to make sure that we include these two holes down in between, just like that. And then with this slot lines up, we have that opening there, and it's where the leather loop is going to go through. Now with your paracord, you want to pull out the inner strands and get your cord gutted out. You'll take your razor blade and you'll cut your cord at a steep angle. There we go. Now we have to move very quickly here. We don't want to burn ourselves. We just want to shape this into a point. So I'll turn on my torch, just like 1 second, not even that, and I'll push all the fibers together. We don't want it molten so that it burns us, but we want to be able to shape it. Again, what we're going to do is place this together, fold this down, make sure that all the holes line up, and our first stitch is going to go through just like that. Let's pull this all the way through. Once we get to the other end, I'm going to cut this square. And we'll fuse a bead at this end. We want it large enough so it doesn't slip out of the hole that we're sewing. Nice and slow. And I'll pull away so that it fuses together. It gives it a chance to kind of use the surface tension for your advantage. Okay, let's pull this down, and now we're going to start our whip stitch all the way around. Okay, I'll take my cord, I'll place it through one hole, I'll place it through the other. There we go. And I just want to make sure that everything is nice and dressed. Let's see how we do. You see how that's twisted up? We don't want that. So we'll pull it out. We'll make sure we chase this cord, flip it into the correct position, and then we'll pull it through. We have that twist. We want to right it in the hole. There we go. Oh, looks like we have a little bit of excess cord there. There we go. Pull the slack out one side and then chase it all the way through. Okay, there's our first stitch. Only 27 more to go. Okay, we've done our whip stitch all the way around, and now we're at the end. Our sheath is kind of twisting on us, and that's because of the whip stitch we've done. We just need to straighten it out and help these stitches fall into place. Now from here, what you want to do is clean up all your stitches. So I'm just going to start going down the end, and I'm going to start pulling all the excess slack with my Marlinspike to make sure that this is a tight fit. Okay, now what I'm going to do is leave myself about a ½ an inch from the edge of my Marlinspike sheath and cut it with a good sharp pair of scissors. Make sure you have this position so you're not going to catch any of the leather with the flame. We're just going to create another bead just like when we started. All right, we're gonna release that, push it in, and any slack we have, we're just gonna work it back through these stitches we did. There we go. It should disappear right into the stitches. Now, if you don't like the razor blade, another thing you do is just take a pair of scissors and carefully go down the edges. Trim off any fray you have. Now we'll take our belt loop. We're going to run it through. There we go. We're going to fold it over the top, and we're going to place this point through that hole there. Pull it through until we reach the notches. All right. And now we'll settle it all down. And there we go. We're looking good. After we tie our Turk's head knot, we'll slip this in. Nice secure fit. That's looking good, huh? Let me show you what it looks like with the Turk's head knot tied. All right, here's one tied and also engraved. We'll pull this out. There it is.